All right, so we're going to look at notes for 1-2 today, the distributive property. So we're reviewing the distributive property from last year. So we might recall that distribute means to pass out or give to everybody in your group. So looking here at this example 1, we're using the distributive property of multiplication. Keeping in mind that when we're talking about this multiplication, we use parentheses to represent multiplication. So we're looking for that number that's outside of those parentheses that we can take and distribute to everything inside of the parentheses. So looking at this first example 1 that we have here, we can see that the -3 is the number that's right outside, right next to those parentheses. And that's the piece that needs to get distributed to each one. So -3 times 7x cubed. -3 times 7 is -21, and the x cubed just stays the same because there's no x or anything on my -3. -3 times -2x squared is a positive 6x squared. And -3 times the positive 5x is a -15x. Now, the -3 does not get distributed to the -10 because that -10 is not in the parentheses or not in the group. So that piece just gets carried down. Make sure to do a quick check to make sure there are no like terms. And because all of these x's have different exponents on them, none of them can be combined. So let's take a look at example 2. Here, you might think, and if your immediate reaction is to add the 2x and the 5x, that is not what you start with. First, you need to do that multiplication. Remember, multiplication comes before addition in order of operations. So we need to multiply this 5x by both pieces inside those parentheses. A little bit different here because we've got some variables. So before I do that, I'm just going to carry down this 2x. So now 5x times 7y is a positive 35xy. And 5x times 4x is positive 20. And now x times x gets me that x squared. Remember, x times x is x squared. X plus x is 2x. A little side bubble here for a minute. Okay, and so taking one last double check there that there are no like terms, and there aren't because that x has a squared and that one has a y. So moving on to example 3. Now here, you might be confused because there's really no number directly outside of those parentheses, but there is, it's just hidden a little bit. If right next to that negative sign, there's an invisible or a hidden 1 there. So instead of, again, just like that last one, instead of doing 6 minus 1, then distributing, we have to do that multiplication piece first. So -1 times 12x, and again, I'm just going to bring that 6 down. -1 times 12x is a -12x, and -1 times -11 is a positive 11. Here, I actually do have some like terms. 6 and that positive 11 gives me 17 minus 12x as a final simplified answer. So now that was looking at multiplication and distribution. This next part here, we're going to take a look at distribution and division. So these two pieces right here look different, but we'll actually see what happens when we simplify them. So here, just like before when we were multiplying both pieces or all pieces in the parentheses by that number outside, we're dividing all pieces underneath by 5. So you're just dividing all pieces. So 25x divided by 5 minus 50 divided by 5. 25 divided by 5 is 5, and the x comes down. 50 divided by 5 is 10. So we have a simplified answer of 5x minus 10. And over here, this other one, this is actually the same exact problem as that first one. It's just written as, instead of divide by 5, it's written as times 1/5. So 1/5 times 25x over 1 minus 1/5 times 50 over 1. And again, we get that same exact fraction, leaving us with the same exact simplified expression. And congratulations, you've made it through the notes for the second lesson. Make sure to give the homework practice problems for 1-2 a try and submit them on Classroom. Email me if you have any questions.